I've gotten a lot of questions on how to mount this TV lift inside the cabinet that I built, so I thought I'd make a quick follow-up video. Let me first talk about the modifications that I did. These TV rails are meant to mount directly to the holes here, but I wanted my box to be as short as possible so it would fit under the window. And so when I measured all that out, what it meant is I had to drop the TV down by about 4 inches or so. So I used this aluminum bar. You can see what it does. Instead of having the final rail be mounted up here, it just drops it down another 4 inches or so. This puts my TV closer to the floor when the lift is down and allows it to fit inside the top measurement when it's all the way down. So what I'll do next is I'll put this back in, I'll get some footage of how to mount this thing, and then I'll talk a little bit about the lid raising hook. But really what we have in here is an extension cord you see at the back. There's the power supply for the TV at the far back, and then there's the power supply for the lift, the small box here, and it connects with a Molex connector. There are 6 places where the lift connects. There's 4 holes at the bottom, which you can probably see, and then there are 2 holes in the back, you'll see right here, and those just take wood screws. I planned the cabinet so that there's a board running across the back here, so this goes into solid wood. You can see that if you look at the construction video. And now I'll drop the lift in and try to get it connected. One thing I learned from doing this the first time is it's easier to lower it in when the lift is closed, and it's easier to get to the screws when the lift is open. So I recommend you get it in there, then get the lift out of the way so you can get to the screws, because this really challenges the length of your arms. Okay, you can see now the 6 screws that hold the lift in. Now the next step is to mount the TV, and it has 2 hooks on the back of it, and they just hang from these 2 rails. Let's see if I can do that by myself. I think I had some help last time I did it. Let's give it a shot. Another tough shot to get, but the 2 connections to the TV are the power right here, and then the cable feed, which is on the other side. Everything else on this TV is Wi-Fi. So I'll hook those up. I'll kind of wrap them around the lift so they go up and down as the TV goes up and down as well. Clearance. That looks good, nothing's getting pinched. And then we have to look at how the box opens. I had to modify this a bit. This system comes with this long, straight hook. This hook had a kind of fabric on the top of it at some point. This was actually part of the long bar. I cut this part off. The problem with that was it's meant to connect at the front here. My problem was that if I mounted it at the front, it hit this lid too high up, and it also stood up too high. In other words, it wouldn't let the lid close all the way. So I did a lot of experimentation to figure out exactly where I wanted this hook. Of course, I wanted to run up a smooth piece of wood. I don't want it to get caught on all these edges, so I had to make sure it's centered. And then I also had to make sure it's exactly the right height so the hook hits the lid before the TV does, and also that it hits it far enough back that it opens without this lid hitting the TV itself. It's a little bit complicated to explain, but I attached it a few different ways and watched it, and this is what I eventually came up with. So the modification I had to make was I took this long bar they gave me, I bent a 90-degree angle in it, I cut the end off of it and used that end to kind of capture this 90-degree hook. If it works for you just coming straight up here, then great. You don't have to do all the things I did. But let me get some footage of this opening. You'll see how it pushes the lid open. And the final thing I'll mention is you need to watch how it closes. So there are these small shoulders here, and if those catch on anything, for example, the lid is now resting on the lift itself, you can see I've filed away a very small portion there just to clear that little elbow. So all these little pieces, where they hit and how they interact, are really important. So open and close it 3 or 4 times. Just figure out what works for your system. It's a lot of trial and error. Let me show you it closing. All right, hopefully that helps someone. Thanks for watching.